Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. I'd like to start by giving shout outs to Andrew Rickerson and Janelle Smart for giving donations to the channel via Venmo. I'd also like to thank our new channel members, Barry Green and Bigfoot1824. Channel membership is a really easy way to support the channel while also getting small perks like early access to our videos. If you're interested in joining channel membership, you can click the join button below this video. YouTube analytics is showing that only about half of our viewers are subscribed, so if you enjoy our content, hit the like and subscribe button. The conversation you're about to watch is really interesting. It's with a student who seems to believe that all religions are true, which has some really interesting implications, and we go over those in this video. I hope you enjoy.
Let me ask you this. This is ambiguous when I read this.
Yeah.
Are you guys attacking atheism or are you defending it?
I am saying that atheism is unreasonable and stupid.
Oh, I agree.
I'm not an atheist.
What is your role? Like, where do you come from when you're saying that?
What do you mean my role?
Like, where do you stand on that? Are you, like, religious?
Oh, I am. I'm a Latter-day Saint Mormon.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a theist. I'm a Christian as far as I am concerned, and I'm a Latter-day Saint.
Okay, so when I read your sign, not that, like, it kind of spoke to me, but I mean, even listening to scientists, they do say that there's benefits to having faith, you know?
Totally. And natural selection has led us to faith.
Totally.
I say two things.
Sorry.
There was a guy that taught atheism at Temple University.
Yeah.
And he had all his students, all they read were atheist authors. Marx.
Yep.
They read Nietzsche.
Yep.
They read Freud.
Yep.
Okay, and so forth. And there are two things atheists fall down on. One, they deny the law of non-contradiction.
Yep.
And two, they believe something comes from nothing.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And that's a collapse right there.
Totally, it doesn't work.
Because when you deny the law of non-contradiction, you are now basically saying, oh,
Yeah.
you're trapped.
What is that?
Because you must use the law of
I'm not, like-
non-contradiction to deny it.
Yes, the law of non-contradiction is like you can't have a square
Thank you,
circle.
guys.
Thank you. See ya.
Thank you.
Like, is it possible to make a square circle?
No.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's an oxymoron,
Right.
essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'd say atheism essentially is incoherent in that it can't make sense of reality because it has to borrow from the theistic worldview. Because only the theistic worldview can allow for logic.
How is that so?
Because an atheist, if you're consistent and you know what atheism is, you would agree, not you, but an atheist would agree that there's no such thing as free will, because we're basically all a chain reaction of chemicals starting at, a lot of people say, the Big Bang, right? They would also say you're not conscious because consciousness cannot come from non-consciousness. Like, when I say consciousness, I mean like you're aware and you have a self in you, right? Like you're awake, if you will. Not necessarily awake, but like you have a self. The question to the atheist is, can consciousness come from this table? And they would all say no.
Yeah.
So the question is, well, was there ever a time where consciousness did not exist? And they would say yes, because the Big Bang was not conscious.
Right.
So the question is, then how are all of us conscious? Where did we come from?
Right.
And the theistic answer is, well, God has always been conscious. So
I guess that's where I disagree with atheists. Like, I do, like I said, I believe in, like, the benefit of believing that there's something greater.
Right.
Whether that, and you know what, like, I think the other kid, Owen, I think, I overheard, he said he was agnostic, which I believe is kind of insinuating that there's, like, this, they like to call it, like, the worldly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a consciousness, or, like, how they say the universe, like, we're all just the universe experiencing itself. I really like that, because I think that there's something unifying about that. I don't know. Okay. I literally could just talk about the benefits.
So you're not religious then?
Not necessarily, but I do love, I would even go to a Catholic church. I'd love to go to a Christian church. Like, I think that there's wisdom to be shared in all of that. And even Buddhist, like, I align heavily with, like, Taoist beliefs and Buddhist beliefs. But that's not to say that I don't agree with, like, Christianity, because I grew up Catholic. You know, I wear the Virgin Mary. Like, I think that I think that all of these are true, and I think that they're honestly based in science. So, like, that's where I almost agree with them. I do think that our consciousness is a lot more scientific than we think, though.
Okay.
I think that everything is based in science. I disagree with people who are a little bit more, what's it called? Like, when they believe that each word of the Bible is like exactly true.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
That's a little bit,
It's more fundamental.
Yeah.
But most Christians believe it's infallible or without error.
Yeah.
But it's a basis theological claim. The Bible never even says that.
I mean, even that is like, that's not for me to judge if they do believe that that's true, because it's like I just said, there's benefits to having those faiths, and it's like...
I think truth and goodness can come from that.
Right.
Those religions anyway.
Yeah,
But let me
sure.
just clarify. You're not saying that all religions are true in their truth claims, right? Is it fair to say that every religion has truth in it?
I think that every religion has truth in it, and I like the same way that I don't agree with like every single little story in the Bible. Like I don't... I mean, I don't know, I don't know.
That's a reasonable
each and
take.
everything
It's a reasonable
happened,
take.
And I think it's an act of arrogance to believe that, this is for sure what happened when we don't know. You realistically don't know.
Yeah, I would agree that we should keep a sense of skepticism, or like we don't know.
Right.
But eventually you have to make choices in your life based on the evidence that's presented to you. Like, not to be too religious, but you said you're raised Catholic. Would you say that you believe, for example, that like Jesus Christ like was resurrected? Like, do you believe he like died and came back to life?
That's where they lose me. That's really where they lose me. It's
Okay.
just, but it's also like, how did that event go down to where it was perceived like that? It's like no one who was there is alive today.
But the historical record is clear that we have testimony, at least firsthand and maybe secondhand accounts that they saw Jesus who was alive, not Paul, but the other apostles. They saw that he was alive. They saw him die on the cross,
Sure.
and then they saw him alive again after 3 days.
Right.
So the question is, like, why are these people in history telling this story or in these ways? And the argument would be they gave their lives for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they obviously weren't lying with deceit.
Right.
They genuinely believed that Jesus Christ was risen, if you will.
Right.
And people said, deny it or we're going to kill you. And they said, we can't do that. And so, right. So that's evidence. That's some evidence.
That could be evidence, but, it was so long ago. It's just, I don't know. That could be true.
If
I'm not
it is
saying-
true, would that be an important thing to come to understand?
If it was true, well, then I would argue this. Like, what makes all the stories from, like all the mystical lore and all the mystical stories from other religions not true? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it depends what you mean by true, right? Could they have truth in them as far as what they teach principally? Sure, I don't have a problem saying, even as a Christian, as someone who believes that the person of Jesus Christ as taught in the New Testament is the Son of God and the Savior of the world, I think Islam can have truth and good things in it. Same with Judaism. Pick any religion or any worldview. I think there you can draw good from it.
Right.
But the question is, like, there is a historical question of, was Jesus Christ risen from the dead? And Christians obviously are convinced by that.
Yeah, that's like a big contention too between people. So, but I guess I like to, or I guess what really made me question my religion growing up was like the fact that, so I'm Mexican, the fact that Mexicans practice Catholicism is due to
Culture
and colonialism. So it's like
my mom
the
and her
only
family.
reason that I believe that is because it was brought to this area, So
that's called the genetic argument, like where you're born determines what religion you are.
Exactly.
I would agree with that's probably true. It heavily influences you, but you do have people who are not raised Christian who then find Christianity. So it doesn't disprove Christianity.
Well, and vice
Right.
versa,
Yeah.
But I guess my point being that it's a little bit arbitrary,
It depends on if you're an atheist or if you're a theist, right? Because if you're a theist, you could posit some theological claims regarding, like, maybe you were meant to be here. Maybe God wanted you to be a Catholic. I mean, there's so many solves once you open the door to theism. If you assume atheism, which it doesn't sound like you are, then you can. There's lots of solves for it, I think. Are you familiar with Mormonism or Mormons?
I am, yeah. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I won't lie to you. My my exposure to Mormonism has been through the reality show of The Secret Life of Mormon
Mormon Wives. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yes. Well, not really. I've seen clips.
Right.
That's not a great representation of what we teach, right?
I know. That's like, they're very upper class, very, heavily social media. So it's
well, that's not to say, because I know Latter-day Saints, Mormons who are upper class and social media, but like as far as like the morality, aren't they like swingers? Like, don't they like engage sexually with? That's totally contradictory to what we teach, right? We would say that marriage is sacred, and anyway, so.
Right. So I guess like for your sake of like being a Mormon, do you feel like, I guess, like I would say that each and every like set of rules that each religion has is a little bit arbitrary. Like I just think,
unless it's God who's giving it, that's the claim,
right? But do you feel like, I guess my question to you is just like, do you feel like the things that you do, like following your beliefs, do you feel like they bring you closer to God by doing them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and to be fair, other people think it is too, but the question is, like, if just because someone feels like they're getting closer to God doesn't validate the truthfulness of their religion, right? Because I would say Islam, Muslims think they're getting closer to God, and I would say they're getting farther away, right, based on what they believe. Does that make sense?
That's where we would disagree.
Okay,
but that's also where, you know, you're very, obviously very faithful in your religion, so it's like...
But, like, what about, like, a Satanist who thinks they're getting... What if they think God is Satan, and, like, they're getting closer, but they're, like, doing immoral things? Like, are they getting closer to God? Like, what is God, then?
You know what? That's, I feel like bringing up Satanism is a little bit like removed from, you know, because all of those theistic like beliefs, they're all kind of thinking of like a greater good. That's kind of the idea of God.
Sure.
It's
okay, so that's how you're defining God.
Yeah.
I think all religions
I do think it's a feeling, you know. I do, like you said, like you may feel like you're getting closer to God. I think that that's getting closer to God. And I think that it's based also scientifically with like, you know, I get a good feeling when I'm kind of like serving other people. That's my thing.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
Not to be, I don't want to be controversial, but this applies, and we don't have to talk about the morality of this, but what's your stance on abortion? Do you think abortion is moral? Because I was just going to say, like, what if somebody thinks that their God allows them to have an abortion? Like, is that bringing them closer to God by having an abortion? Like, I'm just saying there are things somebody can do that will lead them away from God when they think it's leading them to Him.
Right. Well, I don't think anybody would feel like they're getting closer to God by having an abortion.
I mean, I'm
going to be so completely honest. I think that everybody would feel guilty about that. And I want to say that from the standpoint of a woman and from someone who believes that I should have a choice. I think anybody who has an abortion...
But if somebody feels, like, who are you to tell somebody you don't feel like you're getting closer to God? What if they actually
I've never
feel
met anybody, or I don't think I would ever meet a woman who feels like they're getting closer to God by having an abortion. I'm going to be completely honest.
But what if, like, they don't have enough money to raise the baby, and killing the baby is the only way that they can live their life in a way that allows them to be closer to God? I mean, there's so many different ways you can look at it. I'm not here to talk about abortion. I'm just saying,
I get you.
Maybe there are things that people do that think they're getting closer to God that actually aren't. I guess the question is, what is God? What is good? Right?
Yeah. So I guess I wanted to talk about that more.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think that we have like almost like a biological thing within us that like when you are like we're very community-based animals. Like so I get a good feeling, which I think this is like a human thing. I get a good feeling by doing something for other people, putting other people before me. I don't know if that's just me.
No, I would say that. I would say that's a divine principle.
Right, exactly. So I think that whether it's biological, whether it's divine, I think that it's there for a reason, and there's something beautiful about that. There's something spiritual about that, you know. So
okay.
I guess to me, it's like whatever people define that feeling as, it's like that's God.
Okay, that's fair.
That's God, you know.
But could someone, like, what if two religions contradict in what they think is good? Like, how do you know which one is right?
Well, that's why I don't follow any of them, because they all contradict, and I think that, and this is not me making a pass on your religion, this is just my personal beliefs. I think that they're all written with some sort of bias, what they want to share, what they want to instill in their, I guess, their communities. So...
You mean the people who like started the religions?
Yeah.
Is it possible that God started a religion?
I think God started all of the religions, but everybody has morphed them into...
Do you think God started all of the religions?
Yeah.
How are you defining religion?
Like
you think he started Islam and he started Judaism?
Well, the culture started the religions, but God has always been there. It's just, I think each culture is like taking, like, everybody has that access to God, and it's just the culture that has morphed them into all these different beliefs and like all these things. It's like, why can't we all just like agree?
So
we're all
God started all the religions, and then we basically like changed them.
Well, I don't think he started it, but like I think like we felt that divine. And you know what, there's also the argument that there is no God, you know, and like...
Yeah, to be honest, that's kind of, to me, as you talk, it kind of feels, and I'm not faulting you for this, it kind of feels like you're trying to justify religion and the goodness of it in an atheistic worldview. You're kind of saying like, it's almost as if you live in a world where there is a God, but like he doesn't interact with us and we're just trying to figure it out. Is that kind of the feeling? Like we should do good, but like...
I think maybe in the past, but like I said, I have no idea what has happened in the past. So it's like,
can I? It's okay if not. If you have to go, I was going to ask you. We could talk all day. As far as I'm concerned regarding religions, and you're talking about the different religions and talking about how we can know that they're true, would you be okay if I gave you what I feel is like the best argument for Mormonism as far as like...
Sure, go ahead.
Because our claim would be that God speaks to us and like to our church leaders, right? In the same way that Moses claimed to his people, hey, God's speaking to me, or even Jesus Christ, or pick any religion where the person is saying God's speaking to me or us. Essentially, here's the argument. It's a miracle. And so my question would be, how do we explain a miracle like this? We're called Mormons. And the reason why is because we have a book of scripture called the Book of Mormon. You've probably heard of that before, maybe. And I'd just like to tell you very quickly the origin of the coming forth of the Book of Mormon. Essentially, long story short, the claim is that God gave a man named Joseph Smith, you've probably heard of him before, a set of ancient gold plates and gave him the power to translate that, and there's details there I can tell you. But I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the process of the translation and ask you how it could be possible in an atheistic or a naturalistic world. Here's the details simply. In 65 days, Joseph Smith produced 269,000 words. Now, let me give you some comparisons. Tolkien, who wrote Lord of the Rings, when he wrote Lord of the Rings, was writing at 109 words per day. J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter, was writing at 293, which is a little higher. Stephen King, who writes a lot of horror books, his longest write rather, he was writing 650 words a day. These are professional, educated authors, up to 650 words a day. Joseph Smith, when he's translating this book of scripture, he's producing over 4,100 words per day on average. In the book, we have remnants of ancient Hebrew writing styles that he didn't have. In the book claims to have been written by over 20 different authors. When you put the Book of Mormon into AI today and you say how many people authored this book, it gives about that number, about 20. It's called silometry. He has witnesses to the plates. Like, how did he produce this book in this way as far as the historical record is concerned? And I'm not expecting you to have an answer, but I'm saying it's a convincing argument as far as how do you explain that? And you, as a person who maybe believes in a God, might say God helped him to do it. But then you'd have to be a Mormon, right? If you say God helped Joseph Smith write the Book of Mormon, that's what we believe. We're the only religion that believes that, right?
Right. Well...
So would you agree that that's amazing?
Sure, yeah. I'd agree that that's, that could have happened. But I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
But the question is, you have to contend with that now. The Book of Mormon is now in your life as far as your knowledge of it. And you have to ask yourself every day, where did the Book of Mormon come from? How did he produce it like that? And by the way, if the Book of Mormon's true, it's the best physical, historical evidence that we have of the resurrected Jesus Christ, because part of the Book of Mormon is Jesus Christ coming to America. The Book of Mormon is an ancient record of people in America, their dealings with God, the same that the Bible is in the Middle East, essentially.
Well... I've seen videos disproving it. I've seen videos proving it.
Disproving Mormonism?
Like all of it, yeah.
Yeah, there's critiques. It's not that we don't have any problems.
With that being said, it's like, I think everything, and this is like just kind of pulling back again away from Mormonism, I think this is all noise. I think everything about that like differentiates each religion is all noise. And it's like, if you're getting to a truth that is like actually important.
But how do you know what truth is? That's the question.
Well, I think that, like I said, every single religion, how do you feel it? That's for you to decide.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
And if people contradict in their feelings of truth, how do you know which one is right?
I think that...
Can truth contradict?
I think that the noise is where it contradicts. But there is a truth there that will be a capital T truth for everybody. And those are the universal things that we can all agree on. And when there's contention, that's noise. I truly believe that.
Okay. I agree with that, but you run into some issues like if you ask, was Jesus Christ resurrected? The answer is not yes and no. Right? What if someone says...
The answer is I don't know.
But if he, that's the argument, is if he was, that has great implications. That means Islam is untrue, Judaism is untrue, the other major religions are untrue.
How does that make Judaism and Islam untrue?
Because Judaism says that Jesus Christ was an apostate Jew. They don't believe in him as if Jesus Christ in the New Testament is the Son of God and the Messiah, that makes Judaism false, because they would say he is not the Messiah. They're still waiting for Jesus to come, or a Messiah to come.
I think that might be some of the noise I'm talking about. Like, it just doesn't matter.
It
Like,
does
let's look
matter
at the
because it
morals.
has implications, though, of how we live our lives, right?
I mean, not really. It's like the morals, you're still getting like morals from Judaism. You're still getting the morals from Christianity. It's
Sure,
like,
but Judaism has 613 laws that we'd have to follow. Like, how do you know which of those to follow? Right? My point is, depending on which religion is true, it has implications.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you going to live Sharia law if Islam is true? Like, that contradicts the Bible. That contradicts Judaism. Like, you can't have all of it at the
Right.
same time.
well, I think you just have to. I think you could honestly throw a dart, pick one, and follow it to the best of your ability, and like see how you feel.
But don't you want to be in the religion that is true, or have the worldview that's the most true? Like, throwing a dart, that's random. Like, what if you get paganism? Like, what if you believe in Zeus?
Well, then if it resonates with you, then that's for that individual to make. And it's like, if it makes you a better person, makes you happier.
But you're ignoring the issue that each religion has a different definition for what it means to be good. Like, where are you drawing?
so.
Where are you drawing? Oh, sure.
I think, but like I said, it's like that is almost biological. I think that it's just going to be something.
But some religions justify killing people. Like, are you okay with that?
Could be noise, you know.
Killing people is noise?
I'm saying like that's where they contend. Like that's not like, I mean, even Christianity is like justifies slavery. It's like that's.
I don't think it does. I think incorrect reading of the Old Testament justifies slavery, but I don't think it's what the Bible teaches as far as we're concerned.
Exactly, it's not what it teaches. It's just like it's.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so like
I'm
which
saying, like,
religions justify murder? I guess.
I'd say Islam. Islam can justify murder as far as, let me tell you a story. I had an Islamic friend in college who, when he went back to his country, he had a little cross when he came to school here in the United States. He wasn't a Christian, but he joined an organization where the emblem was a cross. And he came to me, he said, hey, I'm going back to Saudi Arabia. Will you keep this cross for me?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why? He said, I can't take that back to my country, inferring that bad things
That's a
would
corrupt
happen.
government. We know that. You know, they're very corrupt.
But it's not the
using
government. It's the
Islam.
religion.
No, it's not.
Sure, it is.
It's not, because there are.
You don't think Islam justifies killing Christians?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I mean, I'd have to do my own research on it to like make sure that what you're saying is true. But I.
Okay,
don't think that's
what about
they
the
represent.
Israel-Palestine war? Are they justifying killing each other over land?
Yeah, I think that you know what that is.
Like, people are killing each other over religion. It's not just we're all good people and we just try to do what's good. It's
That's
right?
where I kind of feel like it's when you devote yourself so entirely to a religion that it almost becomes like an ego thing. Like, that's where it's kind of doing the opposite of what it's supposed to be doing.
Okay, but if you're going to abstain from all religions, now you can't justify morality. You're essentially a practical atheist.
That's not true,
Sure it
because
is.
I get a good feeling from doing right by other people, and
I
can't
get a good
explain that
feeling from overpowering someone and stealing their stuff.
Really? Do you actually?
I definitely could. I have.
I'm going to ask you personally.
I would say
do you actually feel that way? Do you not feel guilty from doing that?
People.
I'm asking you.
There are people who are okay with that, and in a naturalistic world, that is okay. I, as a Christian, would say it's morally wrong, but I can justify it. I'm saying you can't justify Mother Teresa's actions from Hitler because they're just doing what they think is right. Didn't Hitler think he was doing the right thing?
Yeah, he did.
He killed millions of Jews, and
He
so you
did,
can't
but
just
I
say,
think
well, he
had
can
an
do
intense,
that.
That was like that was where that was an ego thing. That is what religion is trying to.
But he
teach
wasn't
us
doing it in the
against
name of religion. He was doing it essentially in the name of what
he
religion?
was doing not in like Jewish people,
Yeah,
but also racially Jewish people.
But it wasn't
And
his
he was-
religion. He wasn't using a religion to say, this is my religion and my religion tells me to do this. He was just doing it. He was essentially an atheist. He was abstaining from all the religions and justifying his
Catholic?
actions. He was raised Catholic but didn't adhere to it by any means.
Right. Well,
That's the issue you get into, is you have these real life events and wars where people are justifying murder and genocide based on a lack of belief, right? If you're just saying, well, let's just let it go, let people decide.
I don't agree with that. I really do.
I mean, I just gave you an example, the Holocaust.
Yeah, the Holocaust was directly due to like him looking down on this group of people due to their religion.
That was his morality.
Due to their religion, though.
Okay, but his worldview said, I'm going to start the Aryan race. We need the perfect race, so we need to get rid of all these people.
Yeah, I think.
And you're saying that, or is that wrong? Was that wrong of him?
Yeah.
But in his world, it wasn't wrong, and all the people, well, not all of them, but a lot of the Germans agreed with him.
I wrote an essay about this. I'm trying to think about what I said in regards to that, because I spoke directly on that. I think I spoke about Well, first of all, he differentiated himself from this group of people via their religion. He said this religion is bad, and like for whatever I believe is better, or maybe having no religion is better.
That's what everyone says, but when you kill people over it, that's an issue.
Totally, yeah. And
that's what I'm saying. Some religions are bad. They may teach truth, but I'm just saying if you kind of just say, oh, we're just let people do what they want, I'm saying it leads to that on a large scale.
I have to go soon, but I'm gonna end off on this thought. He was like maniac, you know, but I think that honestly you could operate as a functional human being an atheist. I think there are benefits to believing in a faith and believing in something greater than all of us, but I think that, you know what, religions, I think that they separate us, and I will stand by that, and I will end off on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Tell me your name.
Alexa.
Alexa, thank you very much.
This is actually a really cool talk.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you. I'm Hayden.
My hands were getting all
No, it happens. I'll grab the mic from you. Do you want my YouTube channel so you can find it?
Sure.
Okay, if you have a camera on your phone, you can scan this QR code.
Cool. I love talking about religion.
Yeah, that was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And I think if I obviously pressed you, you know, in the way that I thought was appropriate, but I think we have something to learn from each other, and every person who sits down, I try to learn something, and to potentially, have a conversation about it.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, that was really nice.
Would you ever consider, like looking into other religions?
Oh, I have, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, then I think that, you know what, if you found what resonates with you, then I'm not here to tell you it's wrong. You know?
Sure, yeah, I understand.
I'm not here to tell you that the wisdom that you found is wrong, and that's